Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss about classes in ES6. And in this video, we will discuss about how we can write the classes and the syntax so that will work in the React JS. So we can create our components in React JS. So as I already told you, React is much easier if you learn ES6 for React. So in ES6, they introduces classes. Traditionally, when we write the code, backend developers face a lot of issues in writing the code in JavaScript. But now ES6 has made it more easy for all of the developers who are backend developers or front-end developers. They can write the object-oriented concepts in JavaScript. So which is going to be really fun for backend developers now. They can write the code easily in the JavaScript. So actually classes have three main concepts here: object, class, and methods. Class is actually a blueprint or template from which objects are created. We can say that class is something like any entity which is going to be used by multiple users or we can have a multiple copies of those entities. And in technically terms, class, when we write the class, we can only declare the class once. And class do not allocate any memory. Also, we use the class with the class keyword. You can see here in an example here, I write one class car, and the keyword we will use for writing the class is this class keyword. And class is a logical entity, not the physical entity. I will explain you how it is a logical entity. Then we have the object. Object is a real-time object entity, means presentation of any entity in real time. Like we have a car, and you can see here the car is one class, but we can have a multiple object entities. We have Honda car, we have a Jeep, we have BMW, and so on. So a class can have multiple objects, but we can only write class once. And also, object is an instance of a class, and also object is a physical entity. So we can say that object is in a real world is that like if we have any form, student form, and there can be possibility multiple students come and get that form. Like student 1, student 2, student 3, they all will create a separate objects for all those forms. But in the real world, there is one class which is student form, and but from them we can make multiple objects in a real world, right? And then we have a method. It communicates between the objects, because method is something like if we have a car is a class, and car moves, car accelerate, the actions, all the actions are basically the methods of the car, of the class. So let's do a practical example of what is a class in JavaScript and how we can write that code in ES6 and in the React.js, right? So coming to our project. So as you all know, again, I'm going to comment all these things. And now I'm going to write example of class. So I already told you, if we need to write class, we will use the class keyword, car, and we'll pass the constructor. You all are, if anyone is new on this concept of object oriented, I will make a separate video for detailed video on object oriented concepts, what is a constructor and how we can use them. But if you still feel any difficulty, you can write me. This is a constructor. Constructor is we have default constructors. Like if I'm not going to pass any value, I will show you how we can write a default constructor and with and how the parameterized constructor. This is the parameterized constructor which I write, and now I'm going to write one method, get speed. This is method. This is a constructor and this is a method. When I'm going to create object for this class. Now create object for class car. So you can see here I have a car class. In constructor, we can pass the company name of the car and the speed of the car, right? So let's suppose I write const. Here we need to write the object. So I have already written this. So you can see here this is the object and it's creating a object from this class. So in the constructor, where when this class is created, in the constructor you can see here company name and speed. So I'm passing company name and speed, and this dot company is basically on the this object. This means on the object level, when we have this property uh, dot company and dot speed, it will save the values of company name and speed. So when I write this get speed method, if I go and write obj audi.get speed. So this is a method you can see here. This is a method. So when this method will execute, you can see here Audi car speed is 455 kilometer per hour. So from this object, we use this object to call the methods of this class. So this is the same concept. If anyone of you who is already familiar with the OOP concepts, so it would be very easy for them to understand how this classes and objects is working. So this is a class, and I can write the multiple of create the multiple objects here. Again, I go and get speed. So you can see here Audi car, and then we have a BMW. So this is the class, and for writing a class, we need to use a class keyword and then object. We initialize the parameterized objects. If we do not want to write the parameter objects, we can remove this parameters, and we can write the simple initialize a simply a class here without parameters also, right? So undefined, that means we didn't pass the value to this dot company, and this is undefined, and speed is also undefined. That's why this error is occurred. Okay, this is a concept of the class, and in ES6 we have class inheritance also. So basically, class inheritance, to create a class inheritance, use the extend keyword. As some of you are already aware, know about this extend keyword. Extend is we use this in Java programming language. Extend basically inherits the parent class functionalities, methods, and properties to the child class. And also, let's suppose if I create a class name model which will inherit the methods from the car class. I will do this practically how this is working. But you can see here, this is a parent class car, and this is model 1, model 2, and model 3. Let's assume that I have a few common properties which I need to pass in all the classes of the child classes, like company name, or you can say the speed of the car. So we can write the common functionality in the parent, and we can inherit them to the child classes. And if we need to access the parent class methods, we need to write the super keyword to access the parent class functionalities. So I will do a practical example here. Let me just remove all this. This is the class which we already created. Let me just show you. You all are familiar with this. Now I'm going to write the class model. Class model. Extends keyword is used for inheriting the car. Car is the parent class and model is the child class. Car functionality in the model class. So this will inherit the car class to model. And now I can write the constructor. In constructor, I can pass the company name, company and speed. So let's assume I will call the get speed method for this, but later on, so I will write super. What is super? Super is basically by calling the super method in the constructor method, we can call the parent constructor method and get the access to the parent properties and methods, right? So here I will write company, whatever in the model constructor, whatever I will write this data to supercar class, and then let's suppose I will write one more method show data, and here I will return this dot get speed. So how can I access this dot get speed? Because we extend this car class here in the model class. Now I have inherited all the methods and properties of this car in the model, and then I write if I call the model method, I can easily get access to the get speed method. So now if I go and create object of this class, car1, new model. So now I will write the new model, and model constructor expect two parameters, the company name, which I will do Honda, and then speed, which I can say 399, right? So if I go and say car1 dot show data, so what is it will going to show? It is going to show Honda car speed is 399 because when I access this show data method, it returns me this get speed method. And how we can access this because of this extend inheritance of this class functionalities. And you can see here when I write this model constructor, in the constructor, I expect two parameters, Honda and speed. So whatever we values we get from the constructor, we write this in the parent class constructor. So it's mean we already passed the value to this dot company and this dot speed. So it means we already get these values. And when we create object, object recalls this get speed method. So we already have these values and it will show this Honda with the company field and this speed with this particular this dot speed field. So this is how inheritance is working. This is similar to the object-oriented concept, and it's very easy to understand. You, if you are already familiar with all these things, then that's great. But if you need any help in understanding object-oriented concepts in ES6 in detail, so I'm happy to help you. Thanks for watching this video and follow up for more videos on ES6 concepts.